because that's your name, that's what you expect from yourself. You hold yourself with integrity, you hold yourself to a high standard. That can't be okay, right? This is your name, and it has to be perfect. Everything that goes out of the door has to be perfect. He's not doing the right thing. And in that moment, he's gonna get exposed. And he's gone, man. Nobody wants that chef around because he does not hold himself with integrity. So here, we're gonna be comfortable while we do this. We're gonna roll up our sleeves. We're gonna relax because we're gonna have this conversation here so that we don't have to have it in a restaurant. So today we're gonna be talking about integrity. What is integrity? Well, integrity is doing the right thing when no one's looking. Integrity is holding yourself accountable when there's no one else there to hold you accountable. Integrity is something that we see a lot of in the kitchen, or we don't see that much of in the kitchen. And that integrity will either make or break a chef. So it's important that right now we're going to decide if we're going to be a chef that has integrity or does not have integrity. So looking at integrity, it comes in all shapes, sizes, forms. We encounter an opportunity to do the right thing or to do the wrong thing multiple times throughout the day. Typically, if something's hard or if there's an easier way to do something, then the harder way is the way that we're going to take, because that's going to be holding us integrity. That's going to be holding us true to our standard, to our quality, and to our product. So, for example, let's take a cook that clocks in, goes to the line, starts cooking, but you know what? He never washed his hands. So when he notices that he doesn't wash his hands, what does he do? Does he stop? And does he go wash his hands? Or does he keep working? Because it doesn't matter. Well, integrity is stopping what you're doing to go wash your hands. Right? That's what integrity is. It's not the easier thing to do. It's definitely not easy to just stop what you're doing to go wash your hands. It takes a good minute out of your day, and you don't have that minute. But a cook with high integrity will do that. When we follow through with things that hold us accountable and hold us to a higher integrity, that's us stamping our name of approval on it. Everything that we do in the kitchen has our name on it, and we don't want to give a bad product, so everything we do is 100%. Let me tell you guys a story. My career has not been all sunshine and rainbows. My first job in the kitchen was a line cook, and the first kitchen I ever worked in, no one else spoke English, so it was a very challenging environment, right? No one took me seriously, and quite frankly, no one wanted me to be there. So having high integrity actually propelled me to work well with the team, to earn their respect, and to eventually be in a position to where I could lead them as a chef of the kitchen. Let me tell you a couple stories. I had a chef who, at night when she was closing, she would always go about her duties. I would do my thing, I would leave, I would go home. An hour or two after I'd left, I would get a text sometimes with pictures, and it would show my station with some dirt or some crumbs or a smear of something. Maybe something wasn't labeled correctly, or maybe something wasn't properly wrapped. So when I got those texts, it killed me, right? Because that's my name on that station, and if it wasn't perfect, I wasn't about it. So what I would do is I would actually stop what I was doing at home and go back to the restaurant, because I didn't want to put that on my chef. I didn't want to put that on myself. My name was on that station, and if it's not 100%, it ain't me, right? Now, most people, if they got that text late at night, they'd be so mad. Like, why are you bothering me at night? Me was not that way, because it's integrity. I hold myself to a high standard, and it's what you have to do to be successful. It's those small details and those small things that will propel you to pass your peers in the kitchen. And it's what I expect from you. Here's another story. I had a chef who was a great mentor to me. Same kitchen. I would go into work. Obviously, no one was willing to teach me because they didn't want to teach the guy that didn't speak their language. So he went behind the line, taught me every dish in detail, how to execute it correctly, how to plate it correctly, how to make sure everything on those dishes was perfect. He would also bend over backwards. He would bring me books. The one I remember in particular was all about butchering and kind of breaking down to primals and subprimals and giving me a lot of information on meats. Well, it's very, very hard to find a chef or a mentor that would actually do those things for you, right? Working in the kitchen is extremely demanding, extremely busy. So finding someone that's going to go out of their way to do that for you is rare, right? So I really looked up to this guy. I really appreciated this guy. Anyways, one night I was working on a grill, and we have a pastrami sandwich. Our pastrami sandwich has coleslaw, and obviously if coleslaw doesn't have dressing or vinegar, it's going to be very dry. And in our particular coleslaw, we had an ingredient called garam masala, and it really changed the flavor profile of the sandwich once it was incorporated. Anyways, same night I had 20 tickets, maybe more. I was getting slammed, and I got a ticket for a pastrami sandwich, and I did not put the coleslaw dressing in the sandwich. In my head, I'm too busy, and I'll be honest, that's all it is. It's an excuse. There's no reason why I shouldn't have put that dressing in there, despite if I was busy or not. It wouldn't have taken me that much time. In the heat of the moment, yeah, sure, it seemed like it, but it was a moment of weakness for me. Anyways, the chef that had gone out of his way actually had ordered that sandwich for himself because he was taking off for the day. And I'm sure he got the sandwich. I'm sure he noticed. Like, he was very on top of it. He was very buttoned up. And I'm sure he noticed that there was no dressing in that sandwich. And for me, in that moment, I let myself down and I let him down. And I know that he probably didn't say anything because I was busy. But here I am 15 years later, remembering that like it was yesterday because it meant that much to me. Every plate that leaves the kitchen has to be perfect. Your name might as well be on every single plate. You see a server walking out with a plate that's not right, you tell that server to stop, what are they going to say? Oh, it's fine, or the guests won't notice, yada yada. But you know what? I notice, and you should notice. That's your name going into the dining room, and you don't know if it's good enough or not. Either does the server. You won't know until the guest either complains, wants a comp, leaves a review on Yelp. Maybe they'll just go home and sulk because they don't want to go to that restaurant again because you sent out something that's poor quality. That can't be okay, right? This is your name, and it has to be perfect. Everything that goes out of the door has to be perfect. We do not make excuses for mediocrity. So do you have integrity or not? Let me tell you a surefire way to tell. What do you do when a health inspector comes? Are you kind of scrambling, like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, I got to wipe down my station. I got to put on gloves. I got to label everything. That's a surefire sign that you're not holding yourself with integrity. So if you hold yourself with integrity when a health inspector comes, you can sit back. You can just relax. You can just kind of let them do their thing because you know what? You're tight. You're doing the right thing. You got nothing to worry about. That's a surefire way to tell if you have integrity or not. Here's some more wisdom for you. If you have poor integrity, it will always catch up with you. Here's an example of this. We've all seen a chef who decides that they're going to fudge their numbers, right? They're going to go through inventory and they're going to kind of, oh, like they have 10 pounds of chicken, but they're going to put in 20 to make themselves look good, to make it look like they're doing the right things. That's called taking the easy path, and that's not something that we're going to do here, right? So what's going to happen to that chef? Well, he's going to be recognized as this great chef. And the other chefs will hold animosity to him, the ones that know what's going on, but he's going to be regarded as by the company of this great, amazing chef. Until one day, the company's going to come down and they're going to say, hey, what are you doing that makes you so successful? What we want to do is replicate it and give it to the other chefs in the area or to the company so that they can do the same thing. And we want you to teach it. Well, guess what? He's not doing the right thing. And at that moment, he's going to get exposed. And he's gone, man. Nobody wants that chef around because he does not hold himself with integrity. That's what low integrity looks like, and no one wants to deal with it. Do not set yourself up to be a chef of low integrity. It's very, very important that you understand that and you do things the right way. Now, when you're starting out, having integrity is a lot easier, right? Because you're only holding yourself accountable, right? You go into your station and you can make sure that it's clean, organized, wrapped, your food's perfect. It's easy for you to stay 20 minutes later to get something clean than it is to ask someone else to do it. But as you move up the corporate ladder, you're going to be in a position where you're responsible for other people. So how do we deal with it? Here's how. Consistency. When you start managing other people and when you get in that position, the first thing you're going to do when you try to hold a standard is tell people that they got to stay late to do something, or yeah, do it right. And what's going to happen is that these people, they're probably going to insult you or make fun of you. Like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, keep doing it, right? Keep holding these people accountable. Because the second that you let up, it's done. You lost the battle, and they're just going to keep doing it. But if you stay consistent with it, what's going to happen next? They're going to hate you, right? They want to go to the bar 30 minutes earlier, but you're holding them there to pull out the equipment to clean the walls. They're going to hate you for it. But if you stay consistent, you're going to have the tightest kitchen in the area, in the country. That should be your goal, to have the tightest kitchen. And once you accomplish that, they're going to respect you. So that's how you hold integrity through other people. You stay consistent. You never let go of your standard. You're always driving and expecting perfection. All right, last thing, guys. And this is probably going to be the most important thing of this whole one-on-one. Your integrity does not stop in the kitchen. When you walk out those doors at the end of your shift, it follows you home. It follows you to school. It follows you to the gym. It follows you to your relationship. Everything you do with integrity. You put your name on everything. You hold yourself at such a high standard that no one's going to be able to compete with it. Right? That's how you build a successful life. Right? If you have a test for school, it's so easy to go home, turn on that TV, and just ignore it. That's low integrity. You don't have it. And in that moment you lose, and it's going to affect you in another area of life. Don't let it happen. When you're at the gym, are you gonna do half your workout and say, hey, I'm tired, I'm gonna go home? No. You're gonna finish it. Because that's what you're there for. You hold yourself accountable. If you're mowing the lawn, you forget to mow the corner of the yard. You put the lawnmower away, you're ready to go in, maybe put your feet up, then it hits you, hey, I didn't mow the corner of the yard. What do you do there? You say, oh, it's good, it'll be fine until next week. No. You pull out the lawnmower and you mow the corner of the yard because that's your name. That's what you expect from yourself. You hold yourself with integrity. You hold yourself to a high standard. That's it. And when you get that in your mind, the rest of your life is going to be easy, guys. You're going to go on and you're going to be able to do whatever you want because honestly, people that don't get what they want in their life, they do not hold themselves with integrity. They do not hold themselves accountable. They let things slide. But if you're someone that can do it, I promise you, you're going to go forward with the rest of your life and you're going to be able to produce whatever you want to produce for yourself.